Here's a fun fact. When Virgil wrote Love Conquers All, what he actually meant was love is so powerful that it ultimately defeats us. Vinco can also be translated as defeat. Makes you think, huh?
Yeah, it makes me think you're a dork.
Another fun fact. Las Vegas has the second highest divorce rate in the country.
Well, it's a good thing we're not moving there after we get married.
Last year, my friend Mike...
Are you having an aneurysm moment?
Him and his fiancée decided to have a quickie wedding in Vegas.
Wait, whoa, your friend Mike from Stanford? I thought he got married like 4 years ago.
Different Mike. Anyway, he rushed into it. And the day before, he got cold feet and did something that made his fiancée call the whole thing off.
Well, what did he do?
I don't know, we're not that close. All I'm saying is marriage is, huge commitment.
All right. Is this above average Eli weirdness? Does it have anything to do with the fact that Beth took your virginity?
Why can't you ever just say that Beth and I were together? Or why do you always have to bring up the virginity thing?
Because it's fun. And I noticed you still haven't answered my question.
Ben loves his Uncle Eli's flat screen.
Thanks. So, have you asked him yet?
Ask me what?
Well, we were thinking about promoting you from best man to minister, but if you're going to be moping about Ashley the whole time, then we're just going to stick with the Elvis impersonator, and you might get demoted to not invited at all.
That would be great honor. That would be a great honor. Wow, I'd love to be the one to marry you. Does that get me off the hook with getting you an espresso maker?
Nice try.
No, not a chance.
I need you to make me a minister.
A minister, like our Father who art in heaven kind.
No, like the website where you get ordained in 5 minutes for a small fee kind.
You're already a prophet. What, are you padding your resume now?
Nate asked me to officiate at his wedding. Why are you frowning?
Marriage is a sacred bond between two people before God. If you want to make a mockery of the church, fine. I don't want any part of that circus.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be freaking Cirque du Soleil if Beth leaves Nate at the altar. I had a vision. Nate's wedding day, Beth calls it off.
Are you sure? Because when it comes to interpreting your visions, you haven't been exactly nailing it.
Well, if you can think of another way to interpret Beth telling Nate, I can't marry you, you let me know.
Now, why would she do that?
I have no idea. But who better to get to the bottom of it than their minister? In my new capacity, I'll be able to spend some more time with them and identify any potential speed bumps.
Or you could just ask Nate what the hell is going on with him and Beth in your old capacity as brother and put that minister fee toward my Christmas present.
I can't talk to Nate about Beth. It's the one thing I can't bring up with him. It's that and Halloween 1986. Two things.
Okay.
Did you see if that minister package includes any special clergy parking permits?
Can I help you?
Keith, how have you been?
Sorry, do I know you?
See what happens when you stop going to church? You don't even recognize your own minister.
Oh, hey, Reverend Stills.
It's Michael now, just FYI. I tried to stay in the same name family. You know Michael, Michelle.
Right, Michael. Come in. Grab a seat, please.
You know, it's okay to say it.
Say what?
That this is awkward. A huge shock, especially for someone who hasn't seen me since Christmas Mass 2 years ago.
Yeah, that kind of guilt trip, you should have been a rabbi. I think somewhere between my 80-hour work weeks and my love for Sunday brunch, I just haven't been able to make it to church.
I haven't exactly been a regular there myself of late.
Still recuperating from the
surgeries. But I'm recuperating fine. The congregation still has some healing to do. The week I was supposed to return to the pulpit, St. Anne's let me go.
What?
You know, it's funny. First, I had to fight to get hired as a woman. Now they want to fire me because I'm a man.
It's totally illegal. State statutes are crystal clear. You cannot fire someone just because they're transgendered.
St. Anne says it can't. To them, it's just a basic contract dispute.
Let me guess, change circumstance?
Technically, their contract was with Michelle Stills, not Michael.
Which is legalese for we don't want a transsexual heading up our congregation. What's your strategy?
I was going to ask you the same thing. This kind of thing, social justice case, it's right in your wheelhouse. And more in my, house of worship.
Which means you know the players.
Yeah, too well. The reverend in the congregation would be like litigating my parents' divorce.
You thought about mediation?
Come on, look. Spiritual leader changes his life and gets fired in the process? This isn't right up your alley. It's sitting in your living room.
All right, I'll talk to him. But if I have any questions...
Anything I'd know, the reverend would know better. Trust me.
You will never believe what I got on eBay.
Cute.
Cute? Our kid's gonna be the next Wayne Gretzky thanks to me, and that's all you can say?
Nope. I could also say no child of ours is going to play ice hockey.
Why? Sports are healthy, competitive. It's a good thing.
Losing your front teeth because someone upsticked you is not a good thing.
It's called high-sticking.
Whatever. Can we argue about this later? I've got to finish filling out this stupid genetic questionnaire thingy.
You're not done with that? You got like 2 people in your family.
One, and he's taking a vacation from his recent divorce and completely unreachable.
Not to mention you two aren't actually speaking to each other.
Yeah, you really want to be getting in the middle of that.
Good point. So, I'm thinking we should start slow. A few trips to the rink, ride the Zamboni.
French.
French?
You want our child playing a Canadian sport, he or she is going to have to learn the language.
This is some shrewd negotiating, Withersby.
We done yet? Almost. I just got a couple more. You gonna write your own vows, or are you gonna go with tradition?
We're writing our own.
And, will Ben be participating in the ceremony?
Well, if you can find a way to include him, that'd be terrific.
Absolutely. How's Ben's father?
How would I know? And why do you care?
Well, I wondered if he'd been more of a part of his life recently.
No, he hasn't. Can I go now? Because I gotta get back to the office.
So late? Wow. You put in a lot of time there.
Well, new clinics don't exactly build themselves.
And Beth's okay with you starting your own practice? I mean, talk about a stress trigger.
You had a vision about my wedding, didn't you?
What? No. Why would you think that?
Because you're acting like you think the whole thing's gonna blow up.
No, I'm not. Really? I just feel like I've given up my shot at a normal life.
For an extraordinary one.
Maybe. I don't get the wife, the kids, the walk-in closet. And you do. So if I seem overly invested in your life working out, then can you blame me?
No.
Nobody wants your wedding to go well more than I do. Believe me. Just the man I wanted to see.
This is about the Stills case, Eli?
Did I say it was? I need some help with a contract matter. I'm on my way to meet with a client right now, and he's noticed that things are kind of lean on the ground here, personnel-wise.
What's the contractual issue?
Wrongful termination. Discrimination, specifically.
Hey, so glad you can be helping us out, Keith.
It's great news, huh? Just found out myself.
Thought you said this wasn't about the Stills case.
I think my exact words were, did I say it was? But if you feel like you've been, played, feel free to tell our client.
Dr. Conroy and the board have agreed to pay out the 2 remaining years on Michelle's contract, plus a year of health coverage, and the $25,000 kicker we already mentioned.
You can't put a price tag on a congregation.
We're merely attempting to recognize Michelle's contribution to St. Anne's.
He built your church in every way, except maybe providing the brick and mortar. He grew its congregation from only 50 people
to over 1,000. Yes, I know. Except now most of those people are leaving.
Because you wouldn't let me speak to them. You wouldn't let me call on their prejudices.
Well, at least you acknowledge they have a prejudice. That's not something that you can wipe away with a pretty sermon.
It's not a bad idea. Why not give the Reverend a shot at a sermon? If people still feel the same way afterwards, you can revisit the settlement then.
If I thought that a sermon would do anything other than merely inflame passions, I would be sitting in the front pew right now. But it won't. And I think that it's time for you to think about doing what's best for them.
So I'm not only a freak, I'm a selfish one?
Well, that's not the point.
I think we're done here. I'm sorry, I thought they would want to avoid the expense and the embarrassment of a trial.
Just the latest in a string of disappointing behavior on their part, Mr. Stone.
Still, you gotta ask yourself, do you want to go through the ordeal of a trial?
I spent the first 30 years of my life trapped in the wrong body. Your definition of ordeal is probably a little different from mine.
This is crazy. Oh my God, look at this little guy. He's so wrinkled and scrawny.
And naked. I'm sure he'll be thrilled when he finds out this picture's out in public.
Do you think our baby will look like that?
You kidding me? It's genetically impossible for our baby to be anything but beautiful if you're the mom.
Sorry to keep you waiting. This might be,
Is everything okay?
Have a seat. We got your blood work back. This is nothing to panic about, but your protein levels are quite a bit higher than we'd like them to be.
Protein levels.
Markers. They tell us the likelihood of a baby having a chromosomal problem, and right now yours are well above normal.
So the baby might have Downs?
We're not going to get ahead of ourselves here. These tests have a lot of false positives, but I needed to make you aware.
Okay. What's the next step?
We need to get Taylor back in here as soon as possible, do a CBS, then we'll be able to tell what's really going on with your baby. Okay?
Thank you. So what do you want to do?
Go home. Now.
Is everything okay with Eli?
Why?
He seems really high-strung.
You've known him all his life, and you're just noticing all this now?
I mean, he seems more high-strung than usual. Particularly since Beth and I announced that we were eloping. It just seems like he knows something's gonna happen.
Did he tell you he had a vision?
Well, I asked him, but he denied it.
Well, he hasn't come to me about it, if that's what you're thinking. To be honest, he hasn't been around much lately.
You guys have a falling out or something?
Something.
Do you think you could check my dad's journal? You know, just to see if, I don't know if he references my wedding or...
I will, but I'm sure there isn't. Hey, look, go get married and let me take care of your brother for once in your life, okay?
Okay. Thanks.
I promise, that's it. Nate's 4 pages and counting.
I know.
And I don't think I'm spilling any state secrets when I say there will be tears.
You are not helping.
Why don't you start with the night you met?
At your aborted engagement party?
I had completely repressed that. What about your first date?
Oh, it was awful. Nate didn't tell you that?
He didn't tell me he was seeing you until after I asked you out on a date, remember?
That's a good point. Well, he was 2 hours late, and then by the time he got there, I had my babysitter for another hour, and we went and wolfed down some buffalo wings at a dive bar near my house.
How did he turn it around?
I figure he's your brother. Must have some of your lovable qualities.
I see you bought a piano.
Yes.
Has Ben taking lessons?
No, but he likes it when I play for him.
Go on. Oh, come on.
Okay, yeah. Didn't I say I wasn't ready for a romance? Didn't I promise we would only be friends? And then we danced, and though it only was a slow dance, I began breaking my promises right there and then. This night is mine. It's only you and I. Tomorrow is a long time away. This night can last forever.
That was beautiful. Wow. I should probably get going. I'll let you get Ben to bed. I'll let myself out.
We didn't fire Michelle because she's transgendered. We exercised the clause in her contract permitting us to terminate her employment in the event of a changed circumstance.
Your Honor, I don't know if Dr. Conroy is aware, but Reverend Stills is a man, and I would appreciate instruction for him to refer to my client as such.
Reverend Stills is still genetically female, Your Honor.
How about we just avoid the personal pronouns, ladies and gentlemen?
Your Honor.
Sit down, Mr. Stone.
So I'm sure that Reverend Stills would say that you are dressing bigotry up in contractual terms.
And she, or he, would be wrong. The fact of the matter is the Reverend isn't the same person we originally hired. That is not prejudice. That's just reality.
The reality is that the United Methodist Church has no specific policies regarding gender reassignment. Is that correct, Dr. Conroy?
Yes.
So even though your own church welcomes the transgendered, you still chose to fire Reverend Stills because he had a sex change.
We fired him because he violated his contract.
This would be the changed circumstance excuse.
No, it's not an excuse.
But the only thing that has changed is his sex. His love of preaching, his passion for St. Anne's, his message have all stayed the same.
But his ability to tell the truth is not. Outside the church, the Reverend lived as a man for 2 years before the surgery and never said a word to me or anyone else at St. Anne's.
Maybe the Reverend was afraid of losing his job. I mean, clearly he had reason to be.
What did he expect? Lying is a sin. It has consequences.
So does judging.
We simply don't want a liar guiding our spiritual lives.
The congregation doesn't, or you don't?
That is what they told me.
So they told you, but they couldn't be bothered to come here today to tell us.
Your co-counsel is a member of St. Anne's. Why don't we ask him?
Objection. I'm not the one under oath here, Your Honor.
That was quite the full-throated defense.
Let's just shut Conroy down. You don't want him making this case all about me.
Why don't I, Keith? Aren't you my lawyer?
Yes, which is why I gotta look at both sides.
I wasn't aware bigotry had more than one side.
Keith, maybe you and I should talk about this back at the office.
No. I think he needs to hear this. These are good people, Reverend. Now, I know it'd be a lot easier if they were just a bunch of ugly bigots, but they're not.
They fired me because I had a sex change.
They fired you because you lied to them.
I lied because I had to. I knew they wouldn't see me.
I just think they see someone they don't know anymore.
Do you really think that just because I changed my sex, I can't lead the congregation? That I'm less capable? Not as good at my job?
That's not what we're suggesting.
Maybe it is. You used to listen to what your congregants had to say.
But I did this for them, so I'd be a better pastor for them.
I don't think they're grateful.
Because I haven't been given the chance to tell them. I've lost my pulpit.
I mean, even if I could force the church to let you give a sermon, I can't force anyone to listen.
And what about you? Are you listening?
Maybe it was just a false alarm. The doctor did say there was a high false positive rate.
High is 8%. I looked it up.
The faster we get the follow-up test done, the sooner we'll know.
I just can't face making a decision like that right now.
You mean whether to take the test?
No, I mean the decision after that, you know? The big decision. What?
I guess I never thought you'd put something like that on the table.
I didn't. It just is.
It doesn't have to be. What I mean is, after seeing the baby last week, that tiny heart, I never thought you'd even consider.
Are you saying you haven't thought about it?
Yeah, but I also thought that...
So because I want to think about it a little bit longer, that makes me a bad mother?
That's not what I meant.
That's how it sounded.
Just cut me some slack here. 2 months ago, our biggest concern was where to go for happy hour.
I'm sorry I didn't think to bring up potential genetic disorders over margaritas.
Look, we shouldn't be fighting. Not about this. Not now.
This can't be the first time that you thought you were representing the wrong side.
I don't think the Reverend's wrong, Eli. I just don't think he's right.
He is still the same person.
He's not the same person, Eli. Political correctness aside, he is different. Were you the same after your diagnosis?
No, but I could say that it actually brought me closer to who I really am.
Doesn't mean everyone around you felt the same way.
Eli, I have to show you what... I'm sorry I'm interrupting.
It's okay. I was just leaving.
I probably shouldn't be barging in on you.
Please, it's your inalienable right as my sister-in-law.
It's just you know Nate's taste so well, and I really wanted to get your opinion on his groom's gift.
Whoa.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think I want to get married so I can have this watch. That's tremendous. Nate's gonna love it.
Is everything okay?
If I asked you a question, could you answer it and then forget I ever asked it?
I don't know. I guess that would depend on the question.
Is there anything that might keep you from going through with the wedding?
Why would you ask me that?
You have to forget I asked, remember?
Yeah. Are you sure that everything's okay?
Everything's great. I'm just got a lot of work. I got this tough case and my head is just so. I'll see you later, okay? I have this sinking feeling. It's similar to the time I was playing Spin the Bottle, and it was Karen Lazar's turn, and I'm just watching the bottle spin and spin, and I'm wondering where's it gonna land, and then it just hit me. It was gonna land on me. I just freaked out. She had those bands on her braces.
Do you typically talk this much?
Only when I'm anxious.
So all the time then? All right.
Just don't tell Frank we're doing this.
We're not friends.
Beth?
I had to pull you out. Your convulsions were becoming too severe.
Did she give you special herbs on your way out for the pain?
That's funny. Usually I'm the one showing up at your place saying crazy things.
You went to her, didn't you? Dr. Lee.
I got a pack for Vegas.
You haven't had any visions since you started seeing Dr. Lee, have you?
Maybe God gave me the week off for my brother's wedding.
Or maybe you've been messing with the dark truth. It's too dangerous, especially for someone with your condition.
You're the one who got me into the dark truth in the first place.
Not so you could use your divine connection for selfish reasons.
I'm trying to keep Nate's heart from getting broken, so just...
It's not your responsibility, Eli.
I just found out that the wedding gets called off because Nate finds Beth kissing me.
Then don't go to Vegas.
I missed my brother's wedding? See, this is why I didn't want to tell you.
You didn't tell me because you know you're stepping off the path, and you know that's fundamentally wrong.
I got a plane to catch.
Happy couple. A deluxe room for your son right next door, and a luxury suite for the best man right across the hall. Perfect.
Do you think I could get upgraded to a different floor?
Well, there are no upgrades from the penthouse floor. You have a view of the strip, access to the roof deck.
How about a lower floor so I can be close to the casino and all the...
Smoke and noise?
Exactly. Here. What's this?
That's a script for Thorazine. It's a common antipsychotic.
I'm not the one getting married.
No, but you are the one acting psychotic. And you're treating Beth like she has leprosy. And don't think she hasn't noticed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. I have a junior room on the second floor right next to the ice machine. It's as far away from the penthouses as you can get without being in the basement.
Thank you.
Reverend Stills.
Keith, what are you...
I hope it's okay. Some of the congregation of my neighbors, they said you might be here.
I'm just about to start my Saturday Bible study.
At a community center?
It's just temporary. Hopefully.
Yeah, about that. I'm sorry for what happened yesterday. I think you're right. I haven't been listening. But starting Monday morning, I'm going to try.
Or you could start now, if you want. Come on. Come on. Everyone, this is Keith Bennett. He'll be joining us today.
You ready? Beth's not getting any more marriable here.
Yeah, I'm just fixing Ben's tie here.
Thanks.
See you in there, buddy.
Okay. Let's go.
I cannot believe I'm getting married. I really have to thank you.
You can thank me after the ceremony.
Not just for introducing me to Beth, but it's so easy to mock you incessantly that sometimes I forget to tell you how lucky I feel to have you as my brother.
Let's go.
Because I don't know what I'd do without you. You're my best friend.
Thank you. I feel the same way. You got the rings?
Yeah. Wait, no, don't you have the rings?
Oh, dear God.
The best man has the rings.
I got promoted to minister, remember?
You know what? They must be in the nightstand drawer upstairs. Can you go get them? Thank you. Thank you.
Galatians 3:28. There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither slave nor free. There is neither male nor female. For you are all one in Christ Jesus.
Okay, so it's obvious that one didn't take.
Joanna had some issues with her priest.
My priest, my family, my neighbors.
What do you take from the passage?
That it's not true. If people were really one in Christ, how could my boyfriend have left me after the operation? Why did my friends abandon me?
Maybe you should ask yourself why you haven't forgiven them.
Because they don't deserve it.
Forgiveness isn't a gift we give others. It's something we give ourselves. There is neither male nor female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. That's not a defense of transgenderness, but it is an affirmation of spiritual equality, where each of us
has equal access to God.
Exactly. How did you...
Well, you said the same thing during a sermon. The first sermon I ever heard you give. I guess something about it just really stayed with me.
Let's continue.
Okay. Oh, my God. You're supposed to be downstairs in the chapel. Why aren't you down in the chapel? You got the rings. That's what I came up here for. Let's go.
Nate forgot to give them to you. I saw them. I was going to tell him, but I don't think I can do this.
I'm gonna go get Nate, okay? You guys should talk.
I need to talk to you, Eli. I think that we should talk.
No, it's cold feet. That's all this is.
That's what I've been telling myself, but I think that it's you.
You're wearing a wedding dress. You don't get to talk like this.
No, that's why we have to talk, because I don't want to hurt Nate.
Marry him.
Even if I have feelings for you, I can't lie about that my whole life. I've tried. I've been trying.
That's not who you are.
I know. I love Nate, I do. But I think I love you too, and I don't want to do this. I can't do this without knowing whether you feel the same way.
I don't.
No.
Look, I'm gonna go get Nate. You should just... Beth.
Nate, I'm so sorry. I can't marry you. I'm so sorry.
Nate.
Hey, I know you were scheduled to do Michael's Direct, and I was kind of hoping, and I know I haven't exactly earned it, but I'd like to do it instead. I have this take that I think it really...
Sure.
Sure? You want to weigh the idea first?
No. I trust you.
Must have been a hell of a weekend in Vegas.
Yeah.
Reverend, could you please tell us what happened the day your employment at St. Anne's was terminated?
It was a Sunday. I'd been up the night before preparing my sermon. It was my first one back since the operations, so you could say I was fairly anxious. I was headed to the chapel when Dr. Conroy pulled me aside. That's when I got the news.
Right before services?
Yes.
What did you say to the congregation?
I wasn't given the opportunity to say anything to them.
So you never gave your sermon?
No, I didn't.
With the court's permission, I think you should have the chance right now.
As illuminating as a sermon might be, I fail to see its relevance to a simple contract dispute.
The dispute is over whether the reverend is the same minister the church hired. Can you think of a better way to prove he is?
I'll allow it.
In Matthew 16, Peter asks Jesus who he is. And Jesus responds, "Who do you say I am? Who are you?" For the past 30 years, I didn't know the answer. For 30 years, I have been a prisoner. My soul may be saved for heaven, but remains trapped in the wrong body on earth. 2 years ago, I embarked on a journey to free my soul from that body, to one which mirrored my soul, rather than hold it captive. And I come back to you now, the prodigal son. Finally, a son in flesh as well as spirit. The son returned home and seeking understanding. I know finally the answer to Christ's question to Peter. I know who I am. And with your reaction, all of you will tell me who you are.
And what did you hope their reaction would be?
Acceptance. Understanding. An expression of the tolerance that was Christ's teaching.
Sounds like you had more faith in your flock than the leaders of your church did.
Taylor, everything all right?
Yeah, I'm just having a day. I'm fine.
I can recognize hormones 100 miles off. Somebody even looked at me funny. I'd lose it on them.
This is a little more than hormones. We found out there might be something wrong with the baby.
Oh, Taylor, I'm so sorry.
It's nothing definite. You know, it might turn out to be fine. It's just that when Matt and I wanted to talk about it,
You had the mother of all fights, so to speak.
Well, like a Cold War, actually. But it's funny, you know, I've spent all this time wondering whether or not he was going to be a good father. I never thought, am I a terrible mother just because
you were thinking of yourself instead of the baby. That's what you should be doing.
I'm not sure the baby books would agree with you, Patty.
Well, who are you going to listen to, Some experts or an actual mother? You know how when those little yellow masks drop in an airplane, they tell you, put on yours first. You know why they do that? Because if you pass out, you can't help your child. You've got to do what's good for you, or you're no good for anybody.
I hope you're right.
When have you ever known me to be wrong?
I didn't want to just show up at your shop in case you were with a client.
Really like that stop you before.
For what it's worth, I didn't exactly enjoy my sessions with Dr. Lee.
You think I care that you went to another acupuncturist? You want to shop around for another guru? Be my guest. I'll give you referrals.
I'm mad about the whole dark truth thing.
What was your first clue? When I told you it was dangerous, did you think I was just kidding?
I know, I screwed up. If there were a Dark Truth Anonymous, I'd be at a meeting right now. But
nothing. You can't rationalize your way out of endangering your life.
I know, but this was Nate's life. I wanted him to be happy.
Then you shouldn't have gone to Vegas like I told you, dude.
I know, but...
There's that word again.
It wouldn't have made any difference. I could stop myself from kissing Beth.
But you couldn't keep her from having feelings for you. Fate can be changed, Eli, except for when it can't.
That's helpful. I should tell Nate that. Maybe he'd hate my guts a little less. I have this client, a minister, got fired, but all he really wants is a chance to explain himself. Tell his congregation his side of the story.
Then go talk to Nate. Tell him your side. Explain things.
I would, if he'd return any of my calls.
Your client, the minister. If he told his congregation everything he wants, is there any guarantee they'd listen?
Not really.
But it doesn't seem to be stopping him.
You walking out with me?
No. Dr. Lenz is going to call any second with the results from the CBS.
Oh. I just figured since we haven't talked about it, you went and did the test without me, huh?
I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I needed to go alone. I needed to think about just myself.
Sounds fair.
I'm not mad at you. You know, this is difficult. And it's not like you've ever been a father before.
At least not as far as you know. Kidding.
My point is that we just need to take things one step at a time. There are going to be a million decisions to make and probably a million fights.
I'd say a couple 100,000, you know? Be optimistic.
We can't collapse every time they happen. We need to keep talking, even if it's screaming.
I like screaming. There's makeup sex to look forward to.
We're about to find out if our baby's healthy and you're cracking sex jokes.
What, you don't think consistency's an attractive feature in a guy?
Oh my God.
One step at a time, right?
Hello? Yes. Okay. Thank you. The baby's fine. The baby's perfect.
We, the jury, in the matter of Michael Stills versus St. Anne's United Methodist Church, find in favor of the plaintiff and award him compensatory damages totaling $50,000 and treble damages in the amount of $125,000.
I'm sorry. We did our best.
I know how you can avoid writing that check. You ready for your close-up?
Honestly, I'm so nervous. I'm starting to wonder why I fought so hard for this.
Just preach it like you did in court. You'll be fine. They came for a sermon, Reverend.
I just thought...
Everybody come around? They will.
How do you know?
Because I did.
Use my spare key.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that back.
Haven't answered any of my calls, any of my texts or emails.
You thought that meant come on over?
Look, is there a bigger word than sorry? Because if there is, then I can just say it. I am sorry. I'm sorry that Beth turned out not to be the one.
You know, I like how you say turned out. Like it just sort of happened, you know? Like it was the weather.
I don't have any control over Beth's feelings, Nate. Believe me, I wish that I did.
But you did have a vision, didn't you? Huh? That's what all this was about, right? You stalking me, avoiding Beth?
I was trying to protect you.
Oh, good going. Now, before you started protecting me, I had a job, a career, a woman who loved me, wanted to spend the rest of her life with me.
I know it's terrible, but it's also not my fault.
That's because you can't see what you did, Eli. You knew something, and you didn't tell me. Because you didn't want to. Because you probably never wanted me to get married, because then you'd be left alone, and that terrifies you. Well, that wasn't the deal, okay? You got to be the prophet, I got the girl, the normal life. That was my consolation prize.
You know I didn't choose this, Nate. You know I didn't choose any of it.
You did, Eli. When you asked for the aneurysm back, you chose it.
I asked for it back to save you.
From what? If I had the aneurysm, then at least I'd have your gift. I'd have the thing that makes you special, allows you to see the future. But now I have no future, and I am just as alone as you are.
I didn't want you to be alone. I don't want you to be alone.
Yeah, here you are. Everything I care about, you're taking away from me. You're worse than Dad. Hey! You don't say that. Eli.
Look, I need you to forgive me, okay? You're the most important thing in my life, man. You're the only thing that I have.
Eli, come quick. Eli, look at me. Look at me. Here, hold this to your nose. I'm calling the hospital.
Nate? Nate?